The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our episode 2 of Star Wars: A Plague of Shadows. I'm the Red Nose Harkon. I'll be your storyteller this evening. And before we get into it, I'm going to let the players introduce themselves and their characters.
I'm Evie Eternal, and I'm playing the character Synthresia Firewalker.
Hello, I'm Zeus. I'm playing Nev.
I'm Callie Salvo, and I'm playing Avix Fear.
Jeannie Vanish, and I'm playing Noma Bay Mar.
Okay. In our last episode, we got to meet our characters in their predicament. We got to open up on the Sunrise Crescent, which is Nora Baymar's ship. We got to meet Prague, PR4GG, or 499, our little, what's it called? Protocol droid that helps Nora with certain things. Since she's a Miraluka, she doesn't really have working eyes. And so some help is appreciated. But we got to meet everybody. We got to see what the ship looks like. It's a Via class scout ship. They arrived at Stena Station, where they were looking for Kiltani Scour, a Jedi that has vanished out of thin air, who was investigating the murder of Andor Sunrider. They learned that Kiltani Scour is the aunt of Synthracia, and when they listened to her journal, they learned that she was a bit apprehensive and worried about this new addition to the family. And we left off with Avix, Nora, and Synthracia feeling the pull of the Force towards where their ship was docked, while Nev went looking to barter for some stuff to fix up the ship with Prague close in tow. We're going to pick up with Nev. You've found your way over to a run-of-the-mill, large kind of Best Buy style bartering section. People are throwing out suggestions. They're holding up different ship parts. It is a farmer's market mixed with a bit of cattle auction. People are yelling numbers at each other. They're yelling different stats and things like that. Prague is doing his best to keep up with you.
All right, bud. I am going to need you to help me vibe check some stuff. Just make sure it's right for her, okay?
I do not understand this request.
I need you to help me make sure the Sunrise Crescent gets back to her former glory. Make sure the parts are right, at least in your mind.
My processor is not built for ship design.
I know, but you were there when it was made. You were friends with the owner. You've been there. You've experienced it. You know what she was like.
Both owners, yes.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking you for your help.
It is given.
And he'll start moving through the stalls, kind of using the little recognition he has of what the ship needed most, like actual repairs wise, and then moving to like the ship wanted this fixed, it wanted this upgraded.
Okay. There's a couple of moments where you will pick something up and he will pick up something that looks equivalent, but is definitely not built for the Via class. And he just kind of like hands it to you very excitedly. This is what you are looking for?
Similar. It ain't made for the Via class. Do you remember if this was the kind of part they used before?
I am not trained, as I said, in ship design.
Certainly. But I don't know how much Nora's mother talked to you about it.
You see him tilt his head down, almost like for a droid. This is the closest he will show emotion, especially like sadness. Sadly, we did not talk much about the ship.
Okay. That's okay.
Shall we take this with us?
Yeah. We'll grab the pieces you think will fit her nicely and the pieces I know she needs. I can
Excellent.
retrofit some things as long as it's not made for like an Imperial cruiser.
The Prague leans close to you. How will you pay for these?
I got skills, I got services, I got my own credits.
Very well. And he starts to follow you around as you pick up more items here and there. And you come over to the checkout, and the small Toydarian that's there is just got these little overalls. His wings are flapping in overdrive, trying to hold his rotund size. He's like a little small purple meatball with this gonzo-like nose that just kind of comes down and droops to one side of his mouth. This is all you're going to be taking, yeah?
Yeah, for this visit at least. I might be back around later, but for this visit, it should be good enough to get what we need.
Very good, very good. What kind of ship are you looking at?
He'll relay the specifics, show he knows what the fuck he's talking about so that he can't be like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and you see him kind of like fiddling with his nose, just kind of like touching the tip of it, rubbing it. It's not meant to bother you, but there's something about the way that he's fondling his schnoz that just rubs you the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Prague is oblivious to it. He's just kind of looking around. Every so often, he'll just take like half a step closer to you. And throughout the conversation with the Toydarian, there's a moment where you will feel that Prague has just pressed his body against yours.
You all right, Prague?
Yes, of course.
You're acting a little nervous.
No. I am merely vibe checking as you have asked.
He'll offer him a small, like, hand of, like, fist bump equivalent.
He grabs your fist with both of his hands. Yes, we are vibe checking.
Close. He'll chuckle. I'll explain that one to you later.
Excellent.
And then, yeah, he'll just go through the process.
Yeah. And the Toydarian is just like, oh, very well. What the bay are you in? I will charge it to the ship.
Oh, no, not the ship. And he'll produce his personal card. I don't want to make assumptions on the captain's status.
Ah, I see. And he runs your card, and there's a little beep, and he looks down at his machine. His eyes widen slightly, and then he hands you back your card. Sir, I did not know that we were in the presence of such a distinguished gentleman.
So
And his voice gets really loud at that, and all the nearby kind of stalls and their keepers start to look in your direction.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir. That
Oh,
would be
please, someone
silly.
from Coruscant here in Stannis. What a gift your presence is, sir. And at the sound of Coruscant, people start kind of grabbing their most expensive items and start walking in your direction.
He grabs the card, grabs the bundle of stuff, and is taking Prague by the hand and just booking it.
Okay.
He is gonna attempt to shake these people.
All right. Let's see what you can get up to.
He's gonna spend a character point on a stealth roll. Does that sound?
Well, stealth would be difficult when you're being observed, so let's make it a run check.
Okay. Same deal. He'll do that.
Now, remember, you can use a character point after the roll. It's only the
Okay.
force point that requires you to be at the beginning of the encounter.
Gotcha. That's a 7. We're gonna spend the character point.
Okay.
And not much. 8.
All right. They're all merchants, so they're not physical. And enough of the people are kind of looking around to see who this Coruscanti buyer is. And given that you're not wearing traditional garb for somebody of your family status, they don't look at you immediately. It's only in the wake of you running past people and in Prague's upward stretched hand as he is trying to balance himself, given that he doesn't move at the same speed that you do for a regular biped. His voice is what comes closest to you as everybody's just kind of like yelling out names of different items and prices at you. But Prague's voice just comes in and says, "This is a rather wild vibe check."
Bloody bazaars keepers don't know how to keep their voices down. I would have
did-
tipped him too if he'd realized discretion was key.
I did not know you were from Coruscant. I have made a note of this.
Most people don't. Don't go telling anyone, please.
I will try not to tell anyone for this vibe check.
He nods, and then he'll explain the process of a fist bump once they've gotten far enough away.
Okay. Once you get back to the ship, the rest of the crew sidles up. So all of you will arrive at the starport at the same time. Is there anything that Avix, Synthracia, or Nora want to talk about on the way to the starport?
And Thracia would probably go a little bit into being Dathomiri because that was part of the message that we found.
Okay.
So, but she's definitely looking a little bit like, okay, we need to go.
All right. Nora or Avix want to add anything about the new knowledge that Synthracia is half Dathomiri? Are you claiming half Dathomiri or full Dathomiri?
She would just say Dathomiri.
Okay.
So my village, my people, they're very small scale, but to have such a powerful relative is certainly very interesting. Oh, Nev. Hello.
Keep moving.
Yeah.
Oh.
You see a small group of merchants following in the wake of Nev and Prague.
Is this good or bad? Because she's going to reach for her blasters.
Not that kind of bad.
Okay.
What kind of bad are we talking about?
The vibe
Get to
check
the-
has failed.
The
The-
Points to
vibe
the
check
robot that he's
failed?
just yanking.
Don't know what that is.
Prague, what's going on?
I have learned about vibe checking, and there is a failure amongst us.
What's a vibe check?
No idea. Let's just move.
What did he do to my ship? Why
Uh,
is he vibe checking my ship?
Since it didn't get described last time,
Hmm.
for what you see when you look at the ship, because was the subject of the power, you kind of see it in hexagonal shapes and like little pieces of chromatic paint, like you're looking at the thing through like the eyes of a bee. So you kind of see it in the color it is, but in hexagons.
What did he do? Why am I seeing this?
You're
I am
seeing
not seeing
something.
the same thing you are seeing.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
I seeing what she's seeing.
I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah, to Avix, the ship looks like the ship, but there are traces for Nora and Synthracia that make it look much different than how you remember seeing it. There are almost like for our White Wolf audience, there are traces of the web, the Weaver's web. Much more mechanical looking, much angular. It's not as natural in the way the things are. But the way that Nev has touched it, there are just hexagonal patterns all over the webbing of it.
Does Nora know that this is the Force or Force touched?
You could assume.
It's very strange. It's
Who's
different.
touching my? That's Force touch shit. Like when
It's
you
somebody
give
who's
off your
magic.
power. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna use their magic on my ship.
I believe the merchants are still coming towards us, Captain.
Yeah, I know. Get the droid on board and
Nevis, full pass already loading.
Yep.
I'll stand at the thing to find out what the fuck they want.
Me,
What you do?
just get on the ship.
Don't order me onto my own fucking ship, my dude. Jesus Christ. Who's the captain of the ship?
Still you. Still a good idea to get on the ship.
Captain, your vibe check is failing.
What's a vibe check?
Perhaps we should, unless you wish to deal with them. They seem excited.
Yeah, well, I do business here, so I want to make sure that shit ain't going to southways, you know?
Understandable.
Captain, they look excited, not angry.
Oh, fuck, what did he do?
Yeah.
All right,
And
well,
one of the
I'll get it to
first
Gangway.
merchants comes running up to the ramp. Hey, Nora, can we talk to your Coruscant friend?
Okay, back up, man, because we got to get going. What Coruscant friend you talking about?
And they're pointing up to where Nev ran up.
You do realize you're doing something that is not translating well.
Oh, okay. Well, you the guy with the droid, he went into your ship.
My droid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kept yelling about vibe checks. I don't know what that is.
Neither do I. Probably some outer rim bullshit. Anyhow.
Yeah, okay, but that doesn't make sense because he said from they said they're from Coruscant. We just want to show him some of the words, you know?
How about this? I'll go check and make sure he says where he's saying from. We'll be hanging around, swinging around later. We'll. Did he owe you anything, or it's all good?
No. But you know that's core world money, Nora.
Well, I know what corporal money was. You know, we used to be there. Ain't anymore, but still, we're all from somewhere, aren't we?
Core world money, though, Nora. Core world money.
So I was from what? Corellia? Do you think I got that kind of money anymore?
Not if you're flying this piece of shit.
Hey, look, fuck you.
All right,
Go
go find
on.
out. Go find out if he's from Coruscant or not.
I'll go find out. You go sell your wares.
I'm gonna
Go get
stand
some
right
money to
here.
make some
I'm gonna
money.
stand right here.
You're gonna stand right there. You're gonna be burned up by my blast phrase when we blast off.
Avix is just going to stand behind the captain and kind of posture largely, trying to, intimidate a little bit, just to.
Okay. Are you releasing any of your pheromones?
Sure.
All right. As you step up and cross your arms behind Nora, release some of your pheromones, you see that he is breathing heavily. He's kind of excited. And the moment he sees you, takes a step back. He's like, "Hey, man, hey. You don't gotta get your guy involved."
I'm not getting my guy involved. You're getting my guy involved. But we're good. You need to step back. We're gonna take off. I'll find out. I'll tell you later. Okay?
I don't like these terms.
I don't like the terms that you're coming up on me on. Thought we were friends. We had business going on here.
You holding on to us if you got some Coruscant money on your ship.
If I
Nora.
knew I had Coruscant money, do you think I wouldn't have vouched for him? I don't know. I gotta go find out.
He inhales sharply and spits on the starport ground.
No. There's no need for spitting. You should clean it up before they find out. And they fine you for looting or loitering or something.
And he just wipes it with his boot.
Whatever. She just turns around, heads up, around Avix. So that she doesn't walk right into him. That's more pheromones than I want to deal with.
Yep. But yeah, you all are on the ship now. The ramp comes up. Prague is kind of walking around the communal area. Every so often you'll just hear him. This vibe check feels right. He's just touching part of the ship.
What the fuck?
The Nev, you're rich?
No.
Hmm.
Oh God. Okay. Right. Since that happened, goddamn fucking Jedi counselors. You know what? I'm just gonna drop the act. Hi, I'm Van Portelek.
I'm sorry, what?
Van Portelek.
Then Portland.
Child of the Portelek Senator of Coruscant.
I'm not familiar with politics.
If Junie and if Nora and Avix want to do either a law enforcement, if you have it, business, or just a flat knowledge check.
I have business.
Oh, you fancy.
I got law
9.
enforcement.
Okay.
$11.
Okay. Is that with your +1?
Yes.
All right. And what did Avix get?
9.
Okay. So the Portelek name you'll recognize as being attached to the Senate. As far as Avix is concerned, that's all you really get from it. Nora also knows that at one point there was a crime involving that family. But what it is, you don't know.
They were supposed to encrypt my card so that it couldn't be read, but it's very clear they never got around to that little task.
I don't know. They're probably still finding out whatever you got stuck with some with law.
No, they know. They know very well what happened.
Yeah, well, why don't you educate us on this?
Sorry I don't feel like regaling strangers of a week with my personal trauma.
But you're on my ship and I have to vouch with you.
Don't vouch. I don't want to be known as the guy from Coruscant.
That's too fucking late, my friend. That ship has passed.
You can call bullshit on the gentleman.
I mean, I could. I just need to know what I'm bullshitting on.
Listen, I'm out here. My mother was murdered. My father sent me out here so that I could, lay low.
Your mom's murdered. He sent you out here.
To Osis.
I got you on my boat. And we're trying to find a forgotten or a kidnapped Jedi after another Jedi got killed.
Yep.
Okay. And that seems fine. So would you like us to continue to call you Nev? Then
Nevin public is fine. You can call me Ven in here if you like.
that should be fine.
Excuse me, I'll be in my bunk for a moment just to put my head through some kind of metal thing to get the common sense back into my skull.
Captain, while you're doing that, should we go ahead and leave to go find Nomi?
Yup.
It's a bit important.
The vibe check has turned to high levels of aggression.
You're getting it, buddy. You're getting it.
What's a fucking vibe check?
And he just puts a thumb up.
It's catching the feeling of the room.
I have caught it.
It's identifying, is this the right piece? Is this a bad piece? Is this the right atmosphere? Is this the wrong atmosphere?
Oh,
The atmosphere right
you're-
now is completely breathable.
Wrong kind of atmosphere.
You're detecting the energy in the room.
Reading it more than detecting it and analyzing it. It's more intuition and feelings.
Did the Jedi come with us?
Yeah, he's there.
She's gonna just turn around and go, does this sound fucking familiar?
I hate to remind you, I'm a historian. So unless
You don't remember when you were a Padawan and the whole force feeling vibe thing.
I have a
I'm-
lightsaber because it's mandatory. I prefer history.
I'm not force sensitive. The Jedi Council can attest to that.
You just fucking honeycomb my goddamn ship.
hey, Nev,
I
you
didn't do anything like that.
then who did?
I don't know. I'm not force sensitive. I can't tell these things.
Avex
You
is
got
just
two
looking
fucking
clueless.
Mirror Lukens right here. How do you think we see?
Yeah, because the force and magic and whatever you want to call it is in everything. You can see it because it's everywhere. Like, I'm not particularly sensitive to it. Like, the Jedi Council straight up projected me for my brother.
You got tested?
Yeah. They tested both of us when we were about 8, 9,
How old you now?
24.
They gotta fix the readers.
Well, regardless, we should
Nora.
get moving.
Yeah, Nora's already heading into the thing to start liftoff. Frog, I need you.
On my way, Captain.
Wait. Before we get lifted off, I have engine pieces I need to switch out.
Doing my engine.
I'm putting it back together because she's upset.
May I watch?
Sure.
Thank you. Well, watch, colloquially. You know what I mean.
I know what you meant. Yeah. And
Oh.
Let me know I can lift off.
I will. I'll beam you over the intercom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doman just goes and sits down.
If we have some downtime, Avex is going to go look and see if he can use the computers to access anything and get any more idea of where Nomi went. 'Cause
Okay.
I think that's who we're going after at this point.
Sure. If you want to give me a computers roll.
Okay.
Mm,
Second.
yeah, we'll see.
Ooh. 16.
Okay. You know that there was a ship called the Lightside Explorer that is registered to a Andor Sunrider who was in the station and left about a month ago almost. It is supposed to have a Nomi Sunrider and a Vima Sunrider as part of its complement of passengers. And it shows that they headed down to Umbria. It is a planet with 4 moons. Desert from the report there at the station. Breathable, standard. Gravity, 32 standard hour rotation period, 176 local day orbital period.
All right.
It shows a hot and arid climate, mostly desert with rocky outcroppings, minimal water sources, and it has the note that the fauna of the planet were imported. They are not native to the planet itself. There's no native species, and there are no cities. But it has been tapped for mining.
Okay.
So
Avix will go explain this to everyone else.
Yep.
Especially noting that it's a desert planet that seems to be rather dead of whatever naturally, anyway.
Mhm.
You all got scars?
In my clothes, yes.
Feels like home.
Yeah. You're gonna have to put them over your mouth, especially when we go into sandstorms.
He nods.
Sand gets everywhere.
If you're responding back to me, good, because I can't see you.
So yeah, I kind of imagine in the engine room, Synthracia will kind of see that's where the like weird honeycomb effect is like its strongest, like it's its point of origin. And you'll see kind of through the force and like what image you have of Nev and this object. He's like moving through this engine and like going to pieces that like you wouldn't normally know would whine until the engine was about to get out. And he's like changing those out. You'll see like pieces that are more obvious, but like the big ones that stand out are like, how would you even know to look for that kind of thing?
Looks very complex. I wish I knew more about engines.
I could teach you if you like.
But from what I see, you certainly seem to have the gift of magic.
I don't do anything like that. I just am able to listen to a per.
You're leaving a mark on these. How do you know all of these things are broken, specifically?
You'll see he kind of goes through. He comes up to like a panel that would be like weird to remove, and you just see he takes it off the wall. There's like just intricate machinery on the inside as he pulls out some tweezers and like is moving pieces around and changing out crystals that power things. When you get good at it, you can just kind of hear them sing, and if there's a sour note, you tune in on it. It's like listening to music.
Let them sing. Well, my certainly not gifted with magic friend, he would be very useful around my village.
Maybe. I mean, I'm good at machines and that kind of stuff. I always have been, even when Navarius was around.
Very good. Perhaps I try and teach you sometime.
I'll give it a try. Ain't no harm in trying.
That is very nice to hear, but there can be some harm in trying. Magic is wild and untamed. You have to soothe it to use it.
Certainly, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
Can I have Synthracia give me a perception check?
Oh, nice. All right. So let's see. Perception. I'm going to be. What is my perception? It's not very good,
That's fine.
but it's, it's fine.
Mhm.
7.
Okay. As you're talking to him, there is a moment where it almost looks like he glazes over a name that he gives you. What color does the hexagonal kind of vibe that Nev is giving off turn to when you mention your brother's name?
You'll see like all these kind of hexagons around him change from like the chromatic steel color to like individual little motes that seem to go through almost like a little timeline. You'll see like blues, greens, yellows, yellow for a long time, a little bit of red very recently, and then back to a very, very dark blue.
There's something about that name. You're very emotionally attached to this person.
That's my brother's name, Navarius Portalek.
That makes sense. Good terms.
Left when I was 8 and never got to see him again.
Uh,
The Jedi scooped him up like like the last scrapes of supper at family dinner.
I understand. In my village, we did not remove the people who could use magic, but they were certainly treated a little bit differently, though there was just a little bit of pariah around using it.
They took him to the temple on Coruscant.
Oh, I've
Ossus.
heard
The
few
temple doesn't exist on Coruscant yet.
My bad.
Sorry.
Yeah.
They took him to the temple on Ossus to learn and study.
Well, that is good. Have you, well, I suppose, I don't know their religion very well. Are they not allowed to see family?
Not allowed, but it's discouraged because it can tempt you down the paths of emotion, which can lead you to doing bad things in their mind, using the force for evil things and hurting people.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. They really should get a better control of their magic if it's leading them down such dark paths. But, uh, well, maybe we could drop by.
Considering we were there and he wasn't there anymore.
Oh, right. Well, I'm sorry about your brother's absence.
And you'll see he kind of moves over, does another one of those weird panels that slides away when it looks like it shouldn't, moves some things, and he'll radio up to Nora to let her know that the ship's good to go.
This is a smart ass move. She just gives a thumbs up to the radio.
Perfect. The engine comes to life, and there is a difference. It feels smoother. It doesn't sound as clunky. And even with the repulsor lifts, as they push off, and you feel the landing gears slowly grind themselves back into their slots, there's a smoothness to how she is coming out back into space. Prague sits next to you.
Go ahead and set the course.
It has been set, Captain.
Engage. Let's go.
Very well. And you feel like a child that has been given the keys to a modified racing car. He takes off. And although there are inertial dampeners on the ship, everybody does kind of shift as there is a relative difference in the how fast the ship picks up. And he rockets out and he leans over to you. I believe this is a happy vibe check, Captain.
From who's got the happy vibe?
The ship does.
Do a diagnostics and make sure everything's running.
Very well, Captain. I'll leave her in your control. And you see him get up and start making his way to the engine room.
Well, I suppose there's nothing much to do now but to wait to
well-
arrive.
Yeah, if you want to hear about how this all works, I can tell you about that.
Oh yes, please. A lot of this is very foreign to me. My people do not have all of this.
What's kind of the upper limit of what you know? Like, do you know what simple machines are?
I know how to work a datapad.
Screw, lever, pulley.
Oh, yes, of course. We're not
Alright.
barbarians, just what I would consider and what is considered very, very low tech.
Yeah, it is low tech, but a lot of machinery is made up of screws, levers, pulleys, inclines. If you look at that, it's
Sort of very many moving things that all simultaneously work.
think about, like, have you seen a cart before? I assume you've seen a cart before.
Yes.
Screws and wheels. Wheels are inclines. 4 inclines put together.
I suppose I didn't really think of it like that. That seems much simpler than what it actually is, but the abstraction seems to work a bit better.
You see Prague mosey in. Excuse me, I must do a check on the systems.
Thank you for just saying check, by the way.
He chuckles. But this all is effectively high-powered series of machines made up of simple bits done on a more complicated scale. And I apologize if I'm like talking down to you. I'm just making sure I'm not going above your head. Are you familiar with like circuitry?
I know what it is.
You'll see he moves over to a small bag and produces like a circuit board which has like crystals and stuff like that in it.
You see the comm comes to life. Captain, I am in the engine room. Thank you for your words of encouragement, Captain.
Do you want me to just tell you to do things, or do you want me to give you a long,
closes the
drawn
comm.
out?
But if you run your hand carefully over this, you'll see it's made up of gates and that kind of thing, where you can have electricity pass through it.
Right.
Sparks of lightning that are more controlled.
Right, the electricity. I can feel it like a warmth mixed with very slight motion,
I mean,
almost like a river.
I mean, you can actually feel electricity.
Oh.
Like physically.
It is dangerous. I will
If you-
warn you.
If you aren't safe about it.
Oh, fair enough. I'll be careful around electricity. The only time I've ever had a bad run-in with that was a very personal incident, and it wasn't the same kind, I don't think. So,
But when electricity flows through these different channels, like water through a river, it turns on different pieces and tells different things to activate that are stored within these little cards here.
very nice. Okay. So, getting from point A to point B, it's electricity into device. Device then activates to move or give motion to the parts. That makes perfect sense.
Mhm.
A lot of this I've kind of taken for granted. My village did not have much, and then I was sort of just thrust into it. So I just kind of assume it works. If it looks like it works or feels like it works.
That ain't always true. There are all kinds of things that work but don't really work because they're designed not to work right. That's called planned obsolescence. We don't need to get into that.
That's fair. Perhaps over a good meal, we might be able to talk more about this.
Certainly. I'm happy to talk about it anytime.
Good. I look forward to cooking.
He will extend his hand in a small fist bump. I don't know if you can see this.
I can. Your silhouette is familiar to me.
Closed fist.
Oh, okay.
And Prague will grab each of your fists and put his hands on them. Yes, this is a successful vibe check.
He chuckles.
I suppose it is.
You got the diagnostics? You want any help, Prog?
No, I am well. In the cockpit, the proximity alarm suddenly blares to life. And as it does, there is a wave of coldness that extends out from the planet. It only took you about half an hour to get from the station to Umbria itself. And as you come into orbit past its 4 moons, there is this pinprick of cold. Although the surface is barely visible, like as far as the Miralukan side is concerned, you can see where the planet is. There is this pinprick. What does the dark side look like to Nora? I think you're muted.
Oh, I wasn't. I was good. Probably was away from the one
Oh.
microphone.
No,
Oh.
yeah, true.
You know, right? It went on its own.
Science.
Stop. It's dark grays to black. Cooler colors. They go from light to dark depending on how much the dark side's around it.
Mm.
It gives it more of like a cold, more impressionistic cold view. So greens, blues, purples, darker colors. But they, if there's any anger or aggression, there's that spike of dark red somewhere around there. And she'll just
There is a spot on the planet's surface that swirls of blues and greens and purples. And every so often, there's just a comet of red that streaks. It's coming from what looks to be a lake. You can see remnants of the blues, the greens, the monochromatic kind of purple around it in what looks to be a sandstorm. But for Avix, Nev, and Synthracia, who are in the ship and don't have access to a viewport, what does this cold feeling do to each of you? As the first time that you've ever dealt with dark side, how does this feel to Avix? What is the first emotion that latches onto you?
Like a nervous fear, like not strong fear, but a nervous fear, like a tension of a threat being held over him, kind of.
Okay. How does it
So
feel to
he's
Nev?
For Nev, I think you kind of get this icy feeling that kind of like literally creeps across his aura. It's very much like someone has given you the cold shoulder.
And for Synthracia, who grew up on a planet that had pockets of dark side, what is this familiar feeling to her?
It
To them.
feels like, and I almost like when the pit of your stomach sinks just a little bit. You can feel like this concern bubble inside. Ooh, this is familiar.
Don't like that chill up my spine.
This place is powerful in the more emotional side of magic.
Right.
To feel it from orbit is impressive.
Prague drops what he's doing and starts heading towards the cockpit once he hears that.
Let's head up.
Yeah, let's. I don't like this place already.
Imagine not being someone who can fight and being here.
It's okay. I protect you.
Appreciate that.
Dome and Crow's the first to walk into the cockpit, Nora, and you feel him immediately kind of like walk in, put his hand on the console, and just kind of lean out the viewport. You felt that, right? That
Yep.
like, there's no mistaking that.
Lake. The lake's got I can just see it, and I can see like the red flashes through it. I really don't want to go there.
I've only read about this kind of place in different planets. I've never actually experienced it.
Didn't you travel with Ma?
When I was younger, and
Don't you remember the stuff she taught you?
this is never part of the curriculum.
She didn't teach you this shit? Taught me.
I hate to break it to you, Miss Mar, but
Break it to me.
we didn't go traipsing around the galaxy looking for pinpricks of dark side energy. I would have turned out different, I think.
You mean she turned around and made sure I knew what this stuff was? Why not you?
Because I'm not her kin.
Just because I'm her daughter doesn't mean that she didn't want to make sure everyone the one understood, right?
Prague comes in. Captain, the guests are complaining about the vibe check.
She just gestures to outside the port. The vibe check's out there, and I don't think you want to go out there for a moment.
Doman looks out. All right. Well, given that feels like it's coming from that direction, and he holds out his hand. He goes, I think we're better off not heading over there, but there's a big bug-like ship hovering in orbit. You got any scanners on the ship? Try and find energy sources. And Prague sits down, immediately gets to work. I will have that for you in a moment.
Is there any way she can do a life detection?
Oh, you want to
From where
call
she's at?
on the force?
Yeah, with my one die.
Okay. You can use your one die.
Yay, one die. That's a 2.
A 2. There's life. There's life next to you. There's life on the ship. Near you. There's a lot of life in front of you, what you imagine is the large vessel that Doman mentioned. But you don't manage to stretch out far enough onto the surface.
I was just trying to make sure that the ship had life instead of a whole bunch of droids.
Oh, yeah. You got it. You felt that.
Oh, okay.
Since everybody else on the ship will feel that there is a pull on the force coming from the cockpit.
Oh,
After all of this, Avex is going to walk onto the bridge just because he's been feeling everything. Captain,
Yeah.
do I understand right that these feelings, that there's something to do with the force I've heard of?
Scarecrow, you don't want to take on some students?
That was not part of my
Not a part of
assignment.
your training.
And I don't know what good it'll do to return to the academy, given that you're adults practically.
Captain, I'm not looking for training right now, but
Don't you need education on it?
I'm
That's
not looking to
force.
train.
I've been in dark moments in my life before, and I've
Okay.
felt things like this
That's
from
the
others
dark
before.
side of the force.
The person we're going after, she lost her husband, right? Wouldn't she be feeling very
No.
bad right now?
Not like that.
Okay. You can see where the lake is, right?
Yes.
There's a few body of waters where she's pointing at.
That's pulsing dark energy. I feel it. I can feel the dark. I can feel the cold. It looks like different dark colors swirling around with pings of red light. That's the dark side.
Yes.
That's what we want to avoid.
But we want to find this Jedi who's
Yeah, I know.
in a very bad emotional place, Captain.
Welcome to contradictions.
Yeah. And Doman kind of looks out the window and just, well, there's a small ship that's leaving the bigger ship that's hovering in orbit. So I recommend either we stay away from whatever they're doing because it looks like a mining vessel. We could try going around the other side of the planet, but I definitely don't have any inkling to want to approach that lake.
I don't want to touch it either. One person with bad emotions is one thing. A lake that's got a whole bunch of bad juju, that's a completely other thing I don't want to deal with. Having the dark side in one person, not a problem. If I can feel that dark side from here and I haven't touched the planet yet, that's what we call red flags. We avoid red flags.
Prague chimes up. There are several energy sources coming from the planet, sir. Mostly mining vessels. Here and there is the energy source coming from the ship in orbit. It seems to be a large retrofitted mining vessel called the Marauder Starjacker, according to Stennis records. Captain, there is a similar Via-class ship on the far side of the planet called the Lightside Explorer. It seems to be registered to an Andor Sunrider.
Head over to that.
Making adjustments.
Thank you. Well, we'll find out one way or another what the Sunrider's doing. Oh, how is the vibe check from the engineering? Because apparently now Prague is letting me know about all the damn vibe checks around here.
And Prague will turn his head almost completely 180 around to just look at you.
Captain, I'm not the engineer. I'm the computer specialist.
Yeah, well, apparently everyone's got a vibe. How is
The
your
head will
vibe check
slowly
going?
turn back around.
I swear to God, this is gonna be so upside down.
As you break the atmosphere of the planet, Prague, making his way towards the other Via class ship, Avix and Doman and Prague will see that the ship that emerged from the Marauder has landed outside what looks to be this home that has been carved out of an overhanging cliff at the base of what is a chasm, a kind of valley, and skiffs will come out, 3 of them, and there are these mortars that start being lobbed in a direction. The first couple hit the actual mountain. You can hear the explosions kind of reverberating through the atmosphere as you're getting closer. And as one of them starts to arc towards the home itself, everyone will feel a pull on the force itself coming from the surface. For Nora, who's in the cockpit, what color do you think a primal, very defensive pull will look like for you?
Is it earth based or is it more like ground based or is it more air based?
It's earth based.
Green. Between emerald and dark green.
Okay. There is an outline of this green creature, serene. It gives off this very calming emotion. And as you feel it, that same emerald aura stretches around one of the mortars and it veers. The arc takes it in a different direction and it misses the house. And another one finds the same kind of arc towards the home. And as it hits the apex of its curvature, it is engulfed in that emerald and green, and everybody feels another pull on the force, and that goes flying off and misses the house entirely. 2 more suffer the same fate, and there is a sudden stop to the mortaring, and you will see about 24 shapes, little humanoid bodies just rushing towards the home from these skiffs. How do you want to approach the situation?
Captain, the data I found before we left said that there was a Nomi Sunrider on the ship, but also a Vima Sunrider. I believe there might be a child there, Captain.
Yeah, she was married, had a kid. Well, was
Yes.
married. Can we open cams down to her?
You can
I
calm
can
the
try.
ship. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can try.
open cams.
There is no response.
She'll announce her name again, the name of her ship, and go, "We are here to help and assist. Please let us know your status."
No response.
All right, how bad do we want to be heroes today and try and go down there and see if she's done in the damn house?
I don't like the thought of a child being in the center of this.
Okay, that's not answering my question.
I don't like the idea of all of these people charging in the direction of a child, looking like they
Valid.
are going to attack.
Are we blasting?
That's your decision, Captain, but I would support it.
Okay. Better head up.
She'll head into the cockpit, I keep feeling something. What is happening?
Oh, down there, battle. From what I can feel, mines or something like that getting repulsed back. Whole bunch of people going down to that house, from what I can feel. And we're gonna go blast them. You want help?
Oh, sure.
Kid might be down there. We tried hailing the ship. No one's answering.
That's not good.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm sending
Bandits,
AVAX to go shoot.
Marauders.
I have no idea.
I'll head up to the turret, Captain.
Grog,
I assume
do
I can
us-
use it in the atmosphere.
Yeah, you can. It's not advice, but you
Science
can.
fiction.
Grog, do a sweep. Come around so you can get a good clean shot.
Yes, Captain. And you fly over the valley, the chasm. This opens up into this massive hole in the planet, and feels like there should be just this dark and unwelcoming aura from it, but it's the exact opposite. There's a serenity that you feel as you go towards the heart of this pull, this earth that has been ripped apart from each other on what must be two tectonic plates. And as you come around, it is easier to see from the cockpit as Avix just kind of sweeps the landscape. But there is a droid very similar to Prague. It looks like a newer model of a protocol droid. There is a human-looking woman who looks to have a bundle in her arms on the top of this ridge, and next to them is this monstrous quadruped of this plated beast. It has horns almost like the Triceratops from the Inhumanoids, and it just looks like this wicked-looking mount that must have taken years to domesticate. And as you sweep around for your attack run, I think this is a good point to go to break. So we'll see you guys in a few minutes. Welcome back, everyone. We left off right as the group was about to engage in some shenanigans. And so let's get right into it. We were talking on the break that Nora wants Prague to pull up and drop you off. Is that still the plan?
Yep, bow staff in one hand, blaster in another.
Okay. So he will fly down and just angle the ship at about a 30-degree to give Avix plenty of room to fire and open up the front ramp.
And Avix is going to take that hit to start blasting at some of the people who seem to be heading in.
Okay, so let's roll your perceptions if you want to take part in this shenaniganery.
Okay.
And that'll be your initiative for this first combat.
6.
6% ratio. 18 for Avix.
18.
18 for Nora. Okay. Let's see what these pirates are going to get.
Hopefully trash.
Yeah, I rolled a 1 on the wild die, so.
17.
Okay.
A bunch of perceptive people we are.
Yeah. Okay, so starting with the 218s, which one of you would like to go first?
I thought Avix, pave the
Mhm.
way so I can get to this woman and her kid.
Yep.
Okay. So Avix is just going to start kind of strafing in the air towards wherever people are coming charging in.
Are you shooting at the people or are you shooting at the skiffs?
People.
Okay. So that's how you roll your starship gunnery skill plus the fire control from the Crescent's turret.
That is 2d1 plus 1d1, so 3d2.
Let me get a different wild die so I don't murder these innocent people. Didn't matter.
14.
It's gonna be one of those days. Okay, so you are firing a starfighter scale weapon at humans. The way the scaling works as far as weapons are concerned in Star Wars is every scale that you go up or down, depending, gives you bonus dice. So you are 3 scales up from character scale, which is what Yukon has. There is character, speeder, walker, and then starfighter. So you're going to add 6 dice to the regular 4 dice damage that this turret does.
Okay, so
And we're going to learn
that's
about
10.
taking damage in the Star Wars universe.
No boy.
All right, that's 10. Oh wait, I gotta make one of these a wild die.
Because there is no one that can survive this 10 dice of damage with 2 dice.
What, you're telling me a single person can't take starship fire?
Let's see here. This is going to take some math to add up here. 18 plus 5 is
23.
23. Yep. Plus another 3 and 8 is 11.
Yeah.
So
if
that's
you thought Shadowrun
36.
had a lot of d6s, you have 36. Not played the right games. So 36 damage. I rolled an average of 7. So that's the difference of 29. So looking at the character chart, as far as damage is concerned, anything with a difference of 16 from your damage to my soak equals dead. So you killed 4 of them in this massive blast of blaster fire. You just feel both of the twin-linked cannons just kind of recoil back. The ship soaks most of the recoil itself, but you do hear this kind of thrum as you fire into the small group, and you see bodies just flying into the air. You hear a Wilhelm scream, an arm indistinguishable from human, Mon Calamari, Zabrak. Doesn't matter what it belonged to. It is the only thing that remains of this person, but it lands on somebody else, and they scream. Nora, what would you like to do for your turn?
Gets off and starts running for the woman to try and defend.
Okay. They're pretty defensible. They're pretty defensible themselves. They're up on the ridge. So if you wanted to climb up to them, you could do that. Yeah. Or if you wanted to intersect some of the people, they don't look like they're going towards them. They look like they're going towards the house.
But the woman and their kids in the ridge, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
She's going to head to the ridge to find out what the fuck's going on.
Okay.
Because she's got her comm link to the ship.
Yeah. Yeah. You do have climbing and jumping as a skill, so let's have you roll that. And we'll see how long it takes you to climb up to the ridge.
Oh yay. 2 die.
2 die plus 1. Every pip matters.
Mm-hmm.
That's 9.
Okay, so it'll take you 3 rounds to get up there. Nev.
Nev is also going to go off the ship, but he is going to head to the house.
Oh, okay. What's your plan?
He wants to figure out what's going on, why these people are targeting this place. He's not a fighter. He's a figure out what's going on type person.
Okay. So you're going to go detective work?
Yep.
All right. Give me
I know he's on like a person-to-person scale, but he's very much trying not to be seen, so he's moving at half speed to like.
Okay, so you're sneaking towards them?
Yeah. He's,
all right. Okay, so I was gonna have you do a run check, but yeah, let's have you do a sneak check instead then.
This has the right die in it, right? It does not.
No, you got 6 dice. That's not bad.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that explodes.
Nice. I don't think anybody has the perception to beat your.
12.
Well, maybe.
13, 14, 18, 20, 23.
Okay. So you come down following Nora. You see that she rushes off towards the ridge. Being able to, what you imagine is to see where this woman and this creature are. And she starts climbing. And you turn, you see that everybody is heading towards the house itself. You see this new crater in the desert landscape that is full of blood and body parts. Some people are screaming and turning away from the house. Some people are redoubling their efforts to get into the house before they become new fixtures of the pavement, of the landscape. But you manage to see that nobody's paying attention to you whatsoever. Everybody is either worried about what's in the house or worried about this ship that has arrived to ruin their day.
He's just moving like a shadow in the night to the house.
So, Synthracia, you beat my people. So you get to go before all of them.
Synthracia will roll out of the cockpit, landing acrobatically because that's cool.
100%.
And then
Superhero landing.
but she will pull out her bow, and any of them that are still approaching the house, the closest one is going to get an arrow straight to the neck.
Okay. Let's have you roll your archery.
Fantastic. I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah.
All right. 3. And then this explodes. If I get it. No, it didn't. 13.
Yeah. You see one of them is kind of eyeballing the ship, making sure that if it fires again, that he is nowhere near a group of people. He's very much of the mind that I don't have to outrun the bear. I just have to outrun everybody else that's with me. And he sees you come out. He sees you just knock this arrow and pull it back. And he stops because he is confused that in this age of laser swords and starships, that somebody still has a bow and arrow. And the moment his hand comes up, the arrow hits him square in the body. Roll your damage.
All right. And the damage on this is just the 3. The 3D, I assume.
3 dice, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Is it, or is it? No, you add your strength to that too. So it would be 5 dice total. 5 dice plus 1.
Let's go.
Yep.
The wild die. That is the most mid-roll I've ever seen. 15.
15. Okay, so going back to our lesson about damage, I rolled 7. So that's a difference of 8. You have wounded him. Would you like to roll a d6 to randomly determine where you shot him, or do you want to just claim a spot?
You already said I hit him in the chest, so I'll say that one for right now.
I said body, so it is open to interpretation.
So yeah, cracked a couple of ribs.
All right. Center of mass, just the arrow sticking out of him. He looks down at it. He looks up at you, and then he screams. Clearly, this is a new pain for him, and he doesn't like it. Very evident that he doesn't like it.
And she'll motion back.
I love it. And he immediately just drops down, very careful not to stab the arrow further into his body. Like he lies down. It's very much like a criminal that has gotten tased by the police and is just like, all right, fuck it, I got caught. So he's just dropping down, prone, very careful to keep the arrow from being pushed further into his body. But one person near him just kind of laughs at the situation and starts darting, kind of stops darting towards the house and then takes out a blaster and tries to shoot at you. And somebody else will try to shoot at Nora. So, would you like to try to dodge?
Yes, please.
Okay. So you've taken your free action for the round. So this is going to count as a second action. So you're going to roll whatever your dodge is minus 1 die. Okay.
Got a
Garbage.
good one. No, my dodge is excellent.
Oh yeah, no, I'm rolling. My rolls are garbage today.
Nice.
So you guys are in good position.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
That's 14.
Okay. I rolled 11 to try and hit Synthracia. And then I rolled 12 to try to hit Nora. So I need to stop listening to Journey before games, so that Steve Perry does not affect me.
Just stay away. Just stay away from the Empire, so your shots do hit.
You know,
You're welcome.
this just means that all of my Sith characters are going to be hitting hard.
Yeah, I know. That's not great.
So I'm okay with
It's
that.
fine.
But you both have this moment where you sense through the Force the agitation, the anger, and the aggravation, the assault, the aggressiveness from these people in your directions. What does blaster fire look like to Synthracia?
Oh, it's very bright. It's like a pearlescent, like whereas somebody might see like a typical red color or a green color or what have you. It's more of like a glittering pearlescence that leaves a trail of dissipating energy behind it. So
Okay.
it's very bright.
And how does blaster fire look to Nora?
Oh, the name for mistake. The name is escaping me. Director of Star Trek, the first one, the reboot
Abrams?
series. Yes, you know the J.J. Abrams lens flare.
Mm-hmm.
Yup.
Okay.
So we got all this lens flare going on.
All right. Yeah. So you see the respective images that are attributed to how you as Mirror-Lugans have grown to see what blaster fire is to you. It's very much something that has been more common in Nora's life. So there's not as bothersome to her, but since this is something new to Synthracia, like there is such a vibrancy to this violent act that there is if you could see with your eyes, there would be a squint, and I almost think like reflexively
There is a squint, yeah.
yeah. There's a little smudge as your tribal art just kind of like furrows. This is not something I think you like.
Not at all.
Give me a willpower roll.
Okay, I'm pretty good at those too. Let's see how it goes. We need the wild die out here.
Yep.
Ooh, not looking great.
Mm,
Wild die. Ooh, 9.
okay. There is a flashback, given the mental state that Synthracia is in, given what you found out about your aunt. There is a flashback. The moment that this flare, this firework of new energy engulfs your vision, and you're taken back to the first trial by fire. What are you seeing? What does this dig up for you?
Well, one of the students at the trial by fire had been attempting to use something akin to force lightning, and they had managed to do it twice. And on the third time, things went really, really badly. And it gives off this like incredibly powerful pearlescence, almost akin to plasma. And then burns up through their arm and like ignites their entire arm up to the shoulder in like flame. And it would definitely remind her of that kind of like immediate vibrancy. So she's very keen on not getting hit by these.
Yeah. To the rest of the people, everybody's kind of focused on what they're doing. So the only one that really sees the situation is Nora, just in the back from a rear perspective. Since you're behind Synthracia, you actually have a very good field of vision to this. What color would you say Synthracia's lightning is when it snaps out of her hand, given this memory that has forced itself to your surface?
To her, it would be a deeper than crimson red, almost black, crackling energy. When it's thrown out, sort of the pain and the fear, especially, are the emotions that are bubbling forth.
All right, please roll your spell of lightning for me, please.
You got it.
Fucking mood. Damn.
All right. Is just 1D, thankfully. So
Yeah.
It's nothing crazy yet.
Sure.
You say this now. You've roleplayed with Evanus before, right?
Nope.
6. So
Okay.
there's only 1 die. Does that explode?
It does.
Oh,
It
good.
does.
Oh, good. Okay, 9.
Okay. There's a moment where you come out of this memory, and in front of you are the outlines of these people that all have this kind of same tint of red. They're led by aggression. None of them are touched by the magic. None of them are connected to you. And there is this almost on the verge of sorrow at the fact that you can't feel any of the covens this far away from Dathomir. And instinctively, the hand is cupped in a way that feels like you're reaching out, but instead of grabbing something, you lash out, and there is this lightning that shoots out and wraps itself around one of the assailants. There is a crackle. Everybody feels the pull on the force. Would you say that it is leaning in one direction or the other?
Since it's based more around heavier emotion, I would say that it probably leans into a dark, at least a fair bit, yeah.
Okay. So then we will give you a dark side point for this. And everybody will feel the coldness and the aggression that comes with the dark side. Avix, from your perch, you will just see from under the ship there is this arc of lightning, just like if you had fired up World of Warcraft and played your shaman and just targeted one person with chain lightning. It shoots out like a tree trunk, like a tree limb, like just this branch of bluish white that swirls in red, and it latches onto somebody like a closing fist, and the guy screams in pain. He is still alive. He topples over, and you can just see him twitching. But just as instantly as it shot out from under the ship, it vanishes. It's gone in an instant. Nev heard it, heard the reaction, felt the coldness coming very close. It's not from the lake. It is very much behind you. And the air smells electrified, ionized. There's a taste in the back of your throat. And as bothersome as it is, it's not unfamiliar to you. But we're at the top of the round. Nora and Avix, how would you like to, which one of you would like to go first this round?
She's still heading towards the ridge to get to the person.
Okay.
So that's where she's going.
Okay.
Still running.
Can Avix tell if the skiffs have any weapons or anything like that?
The skiffs are where the mortars are.
Okay. So yeah, Avix was in the heat of the moment, and now he's like between the explosion and the lightning, which kind of gave him a chill. He's definitely going to go aim at something more mechanical.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your attack then. And
Let's see here.
one more round for Nora.
Yep. 11.
Okay. You see that the skiff pilots are not really paying attention. They're kind of talking to each other. There is this kind of nonchalance about them that makes you feel like they're not, like they've given up, given that they couldn't really attack the house successfully. And the moment you shoot one of the skiffs, it explodes. And the other two just start to book it. They jump into the little pilot seat that kind of looks like if you've ever been on an airboat down here in South Florida. They're prolific. They're all over the Everglades. There's like a little seat. They jump in and they fucking take off. They don't have. It is like they don't know where they're going. They just don't want to be where they were anymore.
That was Avix's goal.
So chaos has been sown. Nev.
Nev
What do you want to do this turn?
Nev is kind of in panic. I think something stirs up beneath him, and that similar magnified senses comes in a very negative way for him. It comes in memory and in tactile and in sound. And he hears that scream again. And he is going to take a full hide action and spend a force point.
Okay. All right. So you're just going to duck behind whatever is large enough to hide you?
Give me one moment.
Yeah, that's 8 dice.
Nope, that's 16. Or not 16, 12. Because he's spending a force point.
Right, your height is 4 die.
No, my height is 6.
Oh, Sorry, looking at the wrong
Or
character.
am I misunderstanding?
No, I was looking at the wrong character.
Okay. So 6'5".
Oh yeah, no, your sneak is a 6. Your hide is a 4 because it would default to your perception.
My bad. I misunderstood that. Then.
That's fine. Yeah, if you're not moving, that's hide. If you are moving, that's sneak.
We'll reroll that. Oh boy, that's a lot of. Okay, so 6, 10, 16, 22, 28, 34, 39, 44, 48.
Okay. You disappear so well that even the Mirror Lucas don't see you anymore. You have vanished from their foresight. Brings you down to 1 force point. Synthracia, it is your turn again.
Okay. Did I debilitate the other one with that force lightning?
100%.
Good.
And your fingertips are still crackling.
Okay. I'll scan for targets that are not currently debilitated.
Okay.
That are still running toward the house, if there are any.
Yeah, they're the only people that have gotten into the house are like 2 or 3 of them. One of them is a large Voltan, which you've only seen like 1 or 2 of them. They are this massive kind of minotaur-like race. They have horns that come up and down like a Togruta's, but they are very massive, very territorial and possessive to a very dangerous degree.
It's probably the biggest threat. So literally,
But one of them went into the house, followed by 2 other people. You can hear them rummaging through things, but there are people that are at the door that have pulled out weapons and are kind of hunkering down.
Nice. We'll start moving toward the house then, slinking a bit slow, and then firing off another shot.
All right. Roll your bows.
All right. That is 40, right?
That is 4 die.
Beautiful. Oh, that was actually a super good roll. Oh my gosh.
Good, because I rolled garbage again. This is
man.
hurtful.
Okay, so 6, 5, 5, and 4. Jesus, I can't math. 20.
20. Yeah, you hit. Do you want any part in particular that you want to hit, or do you want to leave it up to chance?
Let's leave it up to chance.
Okay, roll 1d6. Let's find out where you hit him.
5.
5. His leg.
Nice.
Whichever one you'd like.
We definitely hit an artery then.
Yeah, maybe. Roll your damage.
All right. Nice.
Okay, that's not bad.
That's right. You said that was 5d plus
5 dice. 5 die plus 1. You are dangerous.
The random die. Ooh, I got a 1 on the random. The wild die. Oh, that sucks.
Well, that doesn't count on damage, so.
Oh, okay, cool. That's fine then. Because I had a 6. I would have been upset. Steady spaghetti. 17.
17. I rolled 8, so that's a difference of 9. This man is never walking again without assistance. The arrow goes clean through the thigh. He screams, topples over. His gun goes sliding into a little sand dune that's outside the house. And everybody that's with him just suddenly looks in your direction and then ducks into the house. People who were looking to start opening fire have rethought their life choices.
About right.
You hear a sudden crash from inside the house, and you hear, "That's mine!" And a body, one of the pirates, goes flying out, crashing through the window. The Volton comes rushing out. He is holding what looks to be this little leather sack in his big meaty hands. You can feel the call from the Adigan crystals in the bag. Synthracia and Nora more than everybody else. And there is this kind of longing to belong, this feeling that home is just on the other side of a ridge. For some, it's familiar. For some, it's a feeling they haven't felt in a long time. But the bag is calling out. And everybody notices that the crescent starts flying towards it. The sand starts being kicked up. Avix notices that the tilt is now from a 30-degree to a kind of 45-degree, and it's much more aggressive as the nose is barely above the sand level and aggressively approaching this Volton. You can't really see into the cockpit, so you don't know what's happened to Prague, but he was the one in the cockpit.
Okay.
I mean, he was there with Doman, but you know that Doman doesn't have any authority to have this happen. But we are at the top of the round. Nora and Avix, what do you would like to do this round? I know that Nora is coming up onto the ridge itself.
Avix is going to drop out of the turret and get to the cockpit as quickly as he can.
Okay.
Is there any way I can try and turn and shoot at that guy running, or am I too far?
You can take a shot.
Okay.
Yeah. I like that you come up on the ridge to try to talk to Nomi, and you're just like, hold up a second. Wow.
Pew!
Sometimes you got to take an arrow in the knee to retire.
That is 21.
Oh my God.
Home's
Mm.
calling. We don't
Take
fuck with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna take one die away from him for being distracted. You said 21?
21.
No, I rolled a 13. You hit him. Roll your damage.
I'm working on that. You have to give me a minute. I have to roll down to find out what I'm doing for damage.
All right, listen. You're the one that chose to wear goggles, all right?
No, listen here. I don't want to hear any slack.
I mean, you could have just done an extensive amount of prosthetic makeup.
Yeah, obviously.
Really? You guys are gonna, you know.
Liquid latex doesn't cost that much, guys. I would have walked you through easy fake eyes.
I'm not dealing with liquid. This is easy on, easy off, and it was $11.
No, it might be
13.
cheaper. 13.
14, I'm sorry, 14.
14. The shot hits him center of mass in the center of his back. And he just kind of looks in your direction. And you can't see his face from this distance. You just notice that he's turning your direction. And then you see him drop down, hold the bag to his chest with his left hand, and take off like a sprinting animal on all three.
She'll just yell to Synthracia to take him down. She knows she can.
We'll find out.
At least we just stopped her for a moment.
So you take your shot. You're up on the ridge with Nomi and the droid and her daughter, and whatever this beast is. Avix, you walk into the cockpit, and you see that Doman is holding himself on the seat. He's got a foot pressed up against the control panel, like he is trying not to slide off of his seat. And he keeps asking what the droid thinks he's doing. He's just like, you don't have to get this aggressive. You don't understand that, right? Like they're running. Like you can, and Prague is just like, the bag is of importance, Mr. Crow. The bag is of importance.
Okay. Let me see here. He's gonna in there he's gonna just dive and try and tackle the droid, like just dive for the legs, not trying to really do damage, just trying to distract him and get him to stop whatever he's doing.
Okay, perfect. That'll be a brawling roll from you.
Brawling. I don't
It defaults.
think I have that.
It defaults to strength, so it'll be a strength roll for you. 2d plus 1.
Okay.
Oh, I get to finally open up Prague's character sheet and see what.
Oh, that's fun. Wait a minute. Okay. 11, 13, 14 plus 1. 15.
15.
Had an explosion on the wild die.
Okay, good. It definitely helps then, because I rolled an 11. Yeah, you see Prague kind of turns in your direction as he kind of sees your reflection in the window, and you can see that he tries to get out of your way, but you manage to tackle him, and the ship starts to correct itself as the controls are let go, and the corrective programming starts to kind of balance it out, flatten it out against the horizon line. Nev.
I would like to take the panic attack action, please.
Okay.
Like, just for what the Mira can see is just that honeycomb-like structure just keeps spreading and spreading as this, whatever Synthrasia did, it just is not sitting well with Neb, and it just keeps going and going and going.
Okay. So yeah, there is this expulsion of fear, of worry, and Nev's outline starts to become visible again to the Miralukans. Whatever he did to hide, the pull on the force that he tugged to just kind of step away from what's happening, starts to break down, and it's replaced with this hexagonal. What color do you think your fear is, or this panic attack is for you?
In this space, they kind of see the ground is not like craggy rocks. It is like Coruscant bed chambers and closet doors and red glow underneath those doors.
There is this very somber moment, and what does Synthracia do for their turn?
She's gonna get a quick glance at that. Not really be able to parse out what she's seeing because she's never seen anything from Coruscant before. But she's like, she's
very rigid,
bewildered.
very like natural shapes occurring in Dathomir are carved out, or they're cut out, or they're worked. But there's always a dysfunctional angle. It's human. This is too perfect. The lines are too clean. They artificial. It is very removed from the natural order of things.
And she's going to sort of just look at that, not like shake her head. She doesn't know what to do, but she doesn't know what to do about that. But right now she has one objective, which is to stop that dude with the crystals. And she can feel those crystals calling. So she's gonna try and make an arrow sprout from his leg.
Oh, you gonna shoot this man's?
Yes, she is going to take her third arrow and
do it.
Blap him, or at least try to. All right, so 3.
I don't.
And wild die. Okay. 6, 5.
Ugh, I'm down to 2 dice to try to dodge this. So let's see what happens.
16.
Oh, you hit him.
Nice.
I was hoping you would roll low. Anywhere in particular, or do you want to?
She's in the right leg.
Boom.
And then the 5 dice worth of damage.
Yeah. Synthracia should be dangerous with her primitive weapons. This is how
Also
the
16.
Ewoks took out. Oh my god, walkers. Yeah. Okay.
Those are
That's
facts.
14. So that's a difference of 2 from 16. So that means that he is stunned. And so you see that you don't pierce clean through like the last person, but you do thunk into the meat of his leg, and you see it freeze in its straightened position, like the nerve definitely got hit and has flexed involuntarily, and he tumbles, and the bag flies out of his hand like a fumbled football. And there's a moment where everyone feels this sudden pull on the force. It is right next to Nora. It is above Synthracia and Nev, and it is to the side, outside of the ship from Avix. And everyone will see Nomi shoot herself forward, inhumanly so, just kind of leaving a small double crater where her feet were just planted in the ridge. And in midair, there is the familiar sound, the click hum of the lightsaber igniting. And it is very different for every one of you. For Avix, this is a thing of legends. Falling rarely talk about interactions with Jedis. They're not really open to having outsiders, but even Falling have Jedi stories. What is this image to him?
This is to him a childhood fantasy tale made true, but slightly more horrifying, because it's real. Like, to him, this was just a thing he heard in bedtime stories of people flying through the air and bright swords and that sort of thing. Since he's been traveling around the universe, he's aware it's real, but he's never seen it in action before. So it's very it's shocking, and it's that moment of, this is not what I pictured. Yeah. Because to him it was as a kid you hear him as heroic stories and everything like that, and this is a little more graphic than that.
Yeah. For Nora, what does this do? How does it look, the lightsaber coming on, the connection between what is very clearly not a crystal that has attuned itself to this Jedi in particular, but has some connection to it?
It's almost like home. It's almost like feeling her mom with her for a moment. Feeling that sense of duty and honor and learning and trying to be something that died with her. And it's more the fact that, sorry, better. Sorry, apparently ever said I was too soft.
I chalked it up to being emotional.
Yeah. It's more the fact of now she's facing something she hasn't faced in years. That's loss. A great loss.
What does this do to Synthracia? This is the first time, I think, that you've actually seen a Jedi in action.
He had seen it in the vision that she had, but it's nothing compared to this. The lightsaber looks like it's the sun, but coated in ice. That makes it bearable to look at. That radiates outward this power from the magic that she is currently pouring in to utilize it. And it's pretty obvious at a glance that this is one of the deadliest weapons that Synthracia has ever seen. It's there is a certain awe to it. Like it's like looking at for an example, it's like looking at the Death Star's laser, but obviously at a much smaller scale.
Yeah.
But it inspires that kind of whoa.
For Nev, the click hum of the lightsaber has a very different pull this time around. You've been on Ossus. You've been around lightsabers. You've been around Jedis. But this has the same menace because you didn't see it activate. It wasn't in your field of vision. And there's a tinge of red that washes over your field of vision. There is that darkened shadow of your room, the red glow on the door, little gap on the floor of almost infinitesimally small gap that your estate droids never got around to fixing. And it's the only hint that you have at what happened that night. And as this human woman holding a child, a young baby, no more than a year old, in her left arm, brings the lightsaber around so that it's in a knife style and comes crashing down on this pirate. Nora and Synthracia can see the moment the pirate's life exits the body, when it is exhausted. The lightsaber blade shuts off, retreating back into the hilt. That brilliance of color gone as quickly as it burst into existence. And she drops it, almost afraid of it, and she scoops up the bag of Adigan crystals. And as she turns to look at everyone gathered there, there's a wind that picks up her hair, very much grabbed and tossed and just whipping around her. And she smiles. And this is where we'll pick up the next episode.
Very nice. Damn, that's cool.
So I like to invoke the disembodied voice of Shanky McStabber so he can do his outro for the channel.
There is no Shanky. Sorry, he left.
Only Zool.
Only Zool. That's right. I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight to watch the stream. I hope you enjoyed it. And of course, I'd like to thank Storyteller or Game Master for this game and the players for putting on one hell of a session, not going to lie. Please join us on the Discord. The Discord is where this show was cast from. We cast all of our shows from the Discord. We'll post up stuff in the casting couch, and then people will apply. And then, you know, depending on the game, sometimes there's auditions, sometimes there's not. Depends. It's kind of a Depends on who's running it. But join us on Discord, and then sometimes we do community hangouts. It's based on schedule and what's going on. So come join us on Discord. If you want to catch our back episodes, pop over to YouTube. You can catch all of our back episodes of not just Star Wars, but all the World of Darkness lines that we've done so far, a bunch of independent games. You can even catch Ravnos Archon running Mage if you want to go catch that, maybe. You want to see our friends? I'm going to put our friends here, but we'll give a chance for the various people here to say what they're doing other places so that we'll give them a chance for that. But two of the friends are right here, right now, which is Ravnos Archon and Junie, who's over on the RPG table. We'll get you some studio merch, if I can spell merch right. We've got some McStabber Studios merch. Trust me, we don't make much money on it, but it's just a way for you to show your love just by having the various merch that we have here. And so you're aware, bits and donations, they go to the players, not to the studio. If you want to give something to the players to thank them for, the games they're doing, the costumes that they're wearing, that's what the bits and donations are for. If you want to support the studio, you can do that by subscribing here on Twitch or popping over to our Ko-fi. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can, of course, subscribe on YouTube for free and hit the notification icon. Of course, a comment, like on the video, all that drives up the search engine. So go ahead and take care of all that. Schedule this week. I'm going to give the schedule and then we'll let people say what they're doing. But schedule this week, Sunday, Windy City After Dark at 5 p.m. Eastern. 2 episodes left. And we had a cast member come back for this episode and all hell broke loose. And let's just say something bad happens, real bad, and it's going to change the ending. And you'll have to see what it was, because I'm not going to tell you what it was, but it was rough. And of course, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we have Vampire Dark Ages, Glimpses of History, where you'll get to see Ravnos Archon and Junie as they're subjecting them to Dark Age Vampire. They've already heard the prophecies of Gehenna, at least parts of them. They've run into Octavio. They got to get ready to meet Micah Vikos and some of the other great characters from vampire history that they're already plotting to try to kill for no reason. And of course, next Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, we'll be right back here doing this exact stream. So make sure you come back to watch the next episode of this stream. Now, let's go around the table. Synthrazia, Evie Eternal, you got anything going on? No?
Nah, I got nothing currently.
Got nothing other than this?
Mm-hmm.
Ravnos Archon, what you got going on out there?
Oh boy, I have my own Twitch channel where I run Vampire the Masquerade, I run Werewolf the Wild West, I run the Legend of the Five Rings, and I run 7C. And then you can catch me here on Fridays and on Wednesdays if you don't get tired of my face.
Apparently we don't, because we keep putting you in shows and giving you shows to be in. So I don't know what's going on.
You
there.
keep letting me do shit. I don't know. I'm waiting for that one no.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. I don't know. It depends on how many people you murdered. Oh, sorry. No, that's the wrong game for me asking everybody to get murdered. Different game. That was Mage. Calisalvo, what are you up to?
I'm not up to much myself, but I will take the opportunity to plug where I'm a mod for Quest Authority, Questionable Authority, Mike Dunford. We love to talk law and the legal side of politics over on his Discord, and also he streams regularly covering the legal and political shenanigans that are currently happening as well.
There's a link to that Twitch channel right there in chat. I added it in there so that, he's streaming right now going over the Trump indictment. So I know it's not always the usual fare of our viewers, but if you want to get some real good in-depth legal knowledge and sometimes some funny comments, just remember he is not your lawyer. He is a lawyer. He is not your lawyer. Junie, what you got going on?
Well, everyone knows where I'm at, where you can find me, be it here on Twitch or on Twitter. You can't find me on the RPG table. It's Storyteller. You can find me on Ravnos Archon for 7C every other Thursday. You can find me also on Roll Call on Sunday nights. And, of course, here, both on Wednesday and Fridays. And you will also find me on Discord as Cajun Nights, where I'm a moderator, where we host a play-by-post server for all of your World of Darkness needs.
And what you got going on, Zeus?
Hi there, I'm Zeus. I storytell over on Cajun Nights. I am your changeling and mage specialist over there. Additionally, I am on the RPG table where I play Robin Bird, who is the mage in Junie's Chronicle. I also play here, and yeah, that's kind of mostly what I'm up to.
Now, as always, first of all, thank you all for being here. As we end these streams, we do this every time. Please, everybody, mental health. It's not a joke. It's not a laughing matter. Please take mental health seriously. Not only your own mental health, but the mental health of others. Reach out to those around you, especially people you haven't heard from in a while, because a lot of people are not okay. And it just takes one lifeline, one person to reach out and say, are you okay, sometimes to get them through those tough times. And if you suffer from mental health issues, like many of us do, I know it's tough to reach out to those around you. And so in chat, there's a list of numbers you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's a professional on the other end of the line to help you out and to be that lifeline you need. Because everybody, mental health is health. And while it's okay to not be okay, we still want you to get better with it. And you shouldn't have to suffer in silence and alone with it. So please. And if you're not in the U.S., I know we have a number of people who watch our channel that are not based in the U.S. You can pop over to chat right now to findahelpline.com. Put in your country of origin. You will find out the helpline in your country. And we really do take it seriously, and we want you to be okay. So you can not just share in the stories we're telling, but, to share in life. So, and since my wife isn't here, please get your vaccines. Don't be typhoid Mary. Don't be spreading a bunch of stuff around. Get your vaccines. And of course, if you're not registered to vote, please register to vote. We've got certain individuals who are organizing everything they can against trans rights, everything they can against women's rights, and deciding to ban every book they can. And that should not be happening in this country. Trans rights are human rights, and it doesn't mean every month or every Pride Month. It means every single month. So please, everybody, vote out the ones that are actually taking away everyone's liberties. Please. And I do thank you all for coming. And I do appreciate you all for being here. And we'll see you for our next stream, hopefully Sunday. Good night, everybody.